The Royal Height of Music podcast is brought to you by the Black Lives Matter World Theme Song Anthem. Available at all of the major digital outlets. Or you can also go to the website Venrorecords.com and download a free spoken word version of the Black Lives Matter World Theme Song Anthem. Thank you, and now, to the show.
Hello, this is Royal Height, music ambassador, and this is the Royal Height of Music podcast, where we're taking our music to the world. And this afternoon, I'm truly honored because I have not only a guest, but I have a friend as well on, in none other than Mr. Harold Bell, the original Inside Sports man, the man who started it all long time before Inside Sports ever began on TV. He was the originator. And not only is he doing that, but I could just go down a long list of accolades about my friend Harold Bell. He's a book writer, he's an author. He's won numerous awards. He's produced a great documentary. He's done fundraisers for organizations and activists in the community. Not only that, he also started a foundation, Troubled Children Foundation, more than 50 years ago. Am I right, Harold?
Yeah, that's right.
Kids in Trouble. Kids in Trouble. Right now, I would like to introduce to my audience, my friend, my mentor, as a matter of fact, Mr. Harold Bell. Harold, please introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. And I got a couple questions for you as we go along.
Well, basically, I'm native Washingtonian, youth advocate. I'm the founder of the original Inside Sports. I'm a radio and television talk show pioneer. I went on the air for the first time, being the first Black in Washington, D.C. to host and produce his own sports talk show, which was the Inside Sports in 1972. Thanks to my mentor and friend, the late legendary P.D. Green. From there, 1975, I became the first Black to host and produce his own television special on NBC affiliate WRC TV4 in 1975. My special guest was the one and only Muhammad Ali. My track record as far as youth advocacy speaks for itself, man. So I'm happy to be here and to be your guest.
Harold, I'll tell you, this is strange because it wasn't that long ago. I was honored and invited to be your guest only a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact, because you have a great podcast. Tell everybody a little bit about what you do on your podcast, if you will.
Well, also, I would like to mention, too, my longevity paid off because, Royal, in our community, there's a lot of envy, jealousy, and hate go on. And people don't like to give you credit for your accomplishments. And several weeks ago, I was honored by the National Association of Black Journalists and given this Pioneer Award for 2020. So that in itself, man, really made me feel good because this is a group of people in media all over the country that I have had some problems with because I felt there were times when they should have stood up and they didn't. And 40 years later, they honor me. And that says a lot, man, because that tells you a lot about them, because at least they were saying, well, Harold Bell has at least been consistent. He's always told the truth. And so why not honor him? So I want to take my hat off to the National Association of Black Journalists for honoring me. They say better late than never. So that's what that was all about. And so now on what you just were alluding to is that on Sundays, I do a show called Zoom Sunday, Speak the Truth. That started about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And at 3 o'clock on Sundays, I gather a group of panelists, and we talk about what's in the news, whether it's sports, politics, you name it. We talk about it for an hour, and it's turning out to be a great format. So I'm really enjoying that. And we had you on just about a week ago talking about your new venture, of course, the Black Lives Matter video, which everybody said was outstanding.
Okay, Harold. And along with that, just currently, what are some of the things that, like I say, I know you're a busy man, you've done so much and still doing a lot in the community. With this being a political year, we're in the midst of about to elect another president. What do you see that the Black community needs to do as far as moving towards getting a candidate in office that's the most representative of what we need? What are your thoughts on that? What do you think?
Well, Roy, my thoughts run about the same. I definitely think that Black folks, man, we need to get together, man. We come together as one, because there's no doubt about it. Trump has to go under all circumstances. He's got to go, but we must remember that Joe Biden isn't going to save us. He's not going to save us. That has been proven over and over again. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, we got to come together and save ourselves. You know, like I had a problem just a couple of weeks ago with the March on Washington, Martin Luther King. I'm saying, man, why do we keep pimping this man's name? Why can't we say, okay, we're going to march on Washington. This is for justice and human rights, you know, in the name of Martin Luther King. Let it be in the name of Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King has done his part for over 50 years. Our theme song is still "We Shall Overcome." That should right there tell you that something is wrong, man. We got to go and pull our own thing together. And we're not going to be able to pull it together as long as we keep the 1%, because that's who it is, changing the narrative on us, man. Every time we move forward, they move us backwards. It's all because we don't have an outlet where we can get the truth out there. That's why I started the show, Zoom Sunday, Speak the Truth, man, because we need to find out what the real deal is going on. Right now, Royal, you know, this has been going on, look, Royal, for decades. This police brutality and racism. And I've been saying this, and you know I've been saying this. The problem is the unions in the police department, man, they control the narrative all over the country. They have yet to see, Royal, a Black man be shot down in the streets and it wasn't a good shooting. You will never see a union representative say that. And we know that's the problem, man. You know, no matter what happens with a cop abusing Black folks, they will come out and make sure they got the best lawyers, the money can buy. Also, the police are innocent. And we know that is wrong. We know there are good cops out there. My brothers were cops in law enforcement. I've seen the thin blue line and code of silence up close and personal, man, and I know it's there. So until we get together and clean out the police department, that's gonna be one thing, Roy, that we need to do, man, because these cops, evidently their training tells them there's us against them. How does that sound? We paying their salaries and it's us against them. That's because the mentality, that plantation mentality, Royal, it exists on and on and on. And that thing, Royal, it's our children are our future. We keep talking about children first, as long as we're running for office. Then once we get in office, we forget about the children. And these politicians, number 3, man, they got to be limited to 2 terms. 2 terms and get out of there, because they staying around 30, 40 years, becoming millionaires and billionaires. And then when it's time to represent the people like this stimulus thing, people losing their homes, can't feed their families, and they go on vacation. What are they doing going on vacation, Royal? People are losing their lives. They're losing their lives, and we got a man in the White House. What is the difference between him and Jim Jones? You remember Jim Jones, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Drunk the Kool-Aid. That's what we're doing now. We're drinking the Kool-Aid, man. Yeah, I could go.
Harold, you've said a mouthful, and I just start at the beginning what you said about the music, because ultimately that's what I'm all about. I've had the pleasure of performing for you at so many events, everything from your Christmas parties for the kids, special events that you've done, your anniversaries, all kinds of things that we've worked together. Even at the Black Caucus, you've allowed me to join you. In fact, you were the person I give credit to that got me to go to my first Black Caucus. And because music is my driving force, I agree with you. I think for too long now, it's time for us to move in 2020 towards a new theme song anthem for what we're doing. And that's why I wrote and produced the Black Lives Matter World Theme Song Anthem. And I appreciate your push behind what we're doing. Now, along with that, Harold, one of the other things that just kind of drives me nuts is the fact, like you said, they put so little emphasis on programs and things that can be available for young Black youth, education-wise, through the athletics. As we used to have, we had the boys clubs, and we had recreation centers where a lot of young men and kids got the opportunity to meet people who could be their mentors and guide them and show them the right way, so that they weren't alluded to the streets. I mean, the way the streets have developed now is so much different than what it was back there when I was coming up. We didn't have drugs at the level that they have now. So I can see well that we need to go almost back to some of the hands-on experience that kids need with mentors and programs that have a hands-on effect to help and shape these young men and women to be active and great participants in society in a good way, by getting a good education and not being involved in drugs and that kind of thing. So my next question to you, Harold, is what do you see in the future? What would, if you had an audience of people over 50 and 60 years old, what advice would you give them? Because my pet peeve is too many of them sitting on their butts not doing nothing. It's some of them that could get out and reach kids and grandkids and give them some direction. But from your perspective, what do you think?
Well, Royal, the problem is, we have to look, man. Our young people do not know our history. They don't realize that our ancestors were kings and queens and not hoodlums and thugs. Right here in the DMV District, Maryland, Virginia, I just this year, Royal, we're finding out that the DC public schools has never had a Black history curriculum. PG County has never had a Black history curriculum. So how our kids go understand who they are and where they came from if they don't understand our history, Royal? And that's because us, the adults, are not taking the lead, man. We're not taking the lead. So if we're waiting for these 50, 60, 70 years old, man, time has passed them by. We got to turn it over to these young people that we see in the streets. I'm glad to see these young, I'm not quite sure about the politics of Black Lives Matter. I'm not sure about the politics, but I'm seeing that there are people that are joining this organization and who have taken to the streets that are white, Black, brown, all of them are out there together. And that's what we need, man. We need these young people to step out there. They got to step out there, because we cannot depend on us adults, because we've got a hidden agenda and we're playing games with the system, man. The system does not work for us, Royal. How many major media outlets do we own, Royal? Name one major media outlet we own. I'm talking about USA Today, New York Times, Washington Post, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN. These people control the narrative, man. They control how we think. And to give you a good example, Royal, where the NFL should have been way ahead of the NBA. Colin Kaepernick showed them the way. And these brothers had no balls to fall behind this brother when they could have knocked the NFL to their knees by sitting out one game, Royal. They would have changed the whole scenery. But they left Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed out there by themselves. Now comes along the NBA and with what they're doing. You know, I still got a problem with the NBA because it's still a plantation mentality thing, Royal. And definitely is that way with the NFL. Now they come out and this weekend with the arms folded, but guess what we found out, Royal? Some of the guys stayed in the locker room. Some of them stayed in the locker room. Then you got one or two on their knees, so they are not together, Royal. There's no unity there. If all the black guys, I love the white boys want to join us, that's great. But it should be unity among the black guys. Say, man, this is what we go do, and this is how we go do it. But it always come to, man, there's somebody, you know, there's a spook that's set by the door. But this spook that sits by the door, Roy, is not out to help us. He's out to keep us out. And that is what has happened to me these 50 years, man. What I've done in the community, man, and I got to pat myself on the back, man. I've taken some stands that nobody else has taken, man. In the community, in sports media, I changed the way to talk sports in America. Inside Sports changed the way. Roy, I was the first one to start playing message music. I was the first one to start having media roundtables, man. I was playing What's Going On, James Brown, Black and Proud, bringing Red all back on my show, having, you know, I went out front. So I'm saying, man, I set the foundation, man. Now others should be easy to follow. Royal, 32 millionaires came through Kids in Trouble and Inside Sports. I'm talking about guys who didn't even have a job. You hear what I'm saying? And I'm talking about people who came to Inside Sports like Don King and Jim Brown, Doug Williams, who needed support. They came to Harold Bell. So I'm saying, man, the foundation is there. Roy, I went down to the DC City Council before for the confirmation of the new police chief, Peter Nugent. I'm saying, I went there and said, man, this man ain't got no business being the chief of police in Washington, D.C. He's a drunk, he's an alcoholic, found on the street with his gun in his holster. You understand? He stole records out of the record room that would have got him convicted for abuse against the World Bite protesters. He's got domestic violence on his history. Roy, what I'm telling you was already on television. This wasn't something I'm exposing. He's sitting right there. I saw no other brothers down there while I was protesting. Where were all the brothers who claimed they doing these things in the black community? And here is Peter Nugent, been the police chief for 3 years. And crime has gone up every year. Violent crime, you name it. And Miriam Bowser had the word. Helen Norton had the word, and Murray Chase, because I gave them the information in their hands before the hearing. So, man, we got people selling us out, Roy. That's the bottom line. So we got to keep it real, and we're not keeping it real, man.
Well, I tell you, Harold, look, it's been more than a pleasure to have you here. And I talked to my producer, and I just want to propose to you publicly. We'd like to do a special to have you to do something with us regarding to Black Lives Matter, and have you to help moderate something for us regarding sports. Because as you mentioned, in the NBA, the football, the NFL, and all the other college and high school that Blacks participate in, I'd like to see something happen where we can get some real good narrative about the influence, how they, from their position of power, can help facilitate making Black Lives Matter, not just a saying or a song, but a reality through different things. I'd like you to help us in coordinating and mediating something like that. And that's an open invitation. You can think about it, but I'm gonna be knocking on your door and begging you to come along with us and help us with that project in the near future. But right now, we're gonna get ready to sign off. But before we leave, is there anything you'd like to leave with the audience? Please give us information how we can contact you to support you in what you do. Harold, would you kindly do that for us?
Yeah, well, Roy, I just like to say, man, that I say what I've been saying for years, man. When I would sign off with Inside Sports on Saturdays, I would say that every black face you see is not your brother, and every white face is not your enemy. And that still stands today, man, because there are a lot of good folks out there, man. But a lot of folks are scared to stand up because of a few cowards that have taken the forefront. They're scared of the cowards, man. And until we can overcome that, man, we're going to be in bad shape. Yeah, you can contact me at 240-334-7174, 240-334-7174, and my email address is hkbell82@comcast.net. So I'm easy to find. They can go through you or anybody else. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, I'm easy to find. That's one thing about it. You know, it's always great that when you see somebody, you can look them in straight in the eye. You don't have to duck them. So that's how I feel. Peace of mind is not for sale, Royal.
All right, all right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary man himself, Mr. Harold Bell, the originator of Inside Sports, writer, author, speaker, civil activist, and just a great man. I mean, I know him on a personal level, and he's been a great asset to me. Ladies and gentlemen, as we sign out today, this is Royal Height. This is the Royal Height music show, and our theme is taking our music to the world. We do invite you to join us either as a sponsor. We have sponsors at different levels. You can come on as an affiliate if you'd like to partner with us to do some of the things that can benefit both you and us. And you can also come on as an advertiser if you're interested in promoting your business, product, or services. We stand here available and ready to join you. And again, until the next time, this is Royal Heights signing out. Again, Harold Bell, thank you so much, my friend, and looking forward to having you back on at another time if you can find time in your busy schedule just to join us. We appreciate that so much. Thank you, Harold. God bless. Sign it out.